Alright, so this No More Room in Hell video is going to be slightly different from what I normally do. Obviously, as you can tell by the title of this video, this is going to be a tier list video of everything related to No More Room in Hell. Everything that I could possibly tier list, at least, besides the characters and the voice lines and shit like that. We are going to be tier listing every objective map, every survival map, every melee weapon, every gun, and every throwable. Now, I just want to give a heads up. This isn't like, my standard No More Room in Hell video, obviously, where I'm playing No More Room in Hell and it's, completely unfiltered, unedited, uncut, stuff like that, whatever. But this time, I decided to cut the video down into a more digestible piece because, first of all, I was smoking a little bit, so, I was coughing in between, sentences and stuff, so I want to just cut all that out. Plus, I also wanted to cut out a lot of, just the dead space of me, not saying anything and stuff like that, because I was trying to form a lot of my thoughts when I was creating these lists. But yeah, I really tried to think deep about where I wanted to put everything on, these lists, and, I like to think I did it a little justice. I took my time on this, but yeah. Sorry, this isn't like my standard No More Room in Hell video, but give it a chance. Maybe we can create some discussions in the comments about some of these weapons, where you guys would put them. Leave them in the comments down below. I'm very curious where you guys would put these weapons, maps, and etc. So let me know in the comments. I'm also going to be leaving these tier list in the description so you can make your own. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and, bye-bye. Alright guys, welcome back to another No More Room in Hell video. This is slightly different from what I normally do. Today we are going to be doing the ultimate No More Room in Hell tier list. And you're probably wondering what makes it ultimate. I'm going to be ranking as many things in No More Room in Hell as I possibly can rank. So I'm going to be ranking every objective map, every survival map, every melee weapon, every gun, and all the grenades. And to really narrow it down, there are 20 objective maps, 13 survival maps, 22 melee weapons, 24 guns, and 3 grenades. And I'm going to be ranking everything individually. So I'm going to rank all of the objective maps together, the survival maps together, the melees, the guns, and the nades all by themselves. Because it doesn't really make sense to rank, the melees and the guns in the same exact tier list because, they're two completely different weapon types, so I feel like they need to be ranked differently. Same with objective and survival maps. And that might be a shocker to hear, but yes, I am going to be ranking these survival maps. I have played them. I've never soloed any of the survival maps, but I have played them with friends. I've played them all at least once. So, just so you know, my knowledge on survival maps is very limited in that regard. So I'm just saying that ahead of time right now. I mainly play the objective maps. Also, I just want to say that I'm going to try to not be, super objective about this. I really, really want this to just be my opinions entirely. I'm not going to take, certain things into account, oh, this shotgun does better damage than this shotgun sort of thing. No, I'm not going to look that deep into it. I'm literally just going to be ranking these things on my personal opinion, whether I like it or dislike it. That is the baseline that I'm setting. Alright, so I guess let's just start this. We're gonna start with the objective maps, the official objective maps first. But first, we gotta immerse ourselves a little bit. You already know I'm gonna fucking smoke, take a bong rip. Alright. Okay. That probably wasn't the best idea, because I'm gonna be coughing a lot. I had to immerse myself, and I'm gonna try to cut out the coughing. Okay. I think I've decompressed a little bit here. So I have all the maps down here. The survival maps are below it, but like I said, I'm gonna be ranking them differently. Alright, so I guess we'll just start with, Start from left. So we got Anxiety. Anxiety is a pretty decent map. I would actually say it's one of the better ones out there. Um, I think I'm gonna go A tier on Anxiety. Sorry if you can't read the maps. When I made this list and made like these little picture thingies, I didn't realize how tiny it was gonna be when you put it in Tier Maker. So sorry about that, but I can read them, so you can just follow along as I talk about them. But yeah, Anxiety, I'm gonna go A tier. Part of me wants to put it in S tier, but I feel like the S tier needs to be reserved for like, my personal like favorites of all time. You know what I mean? So I don't think Anxiety is my favorite map of all time, but it's definitely close for sure. It's very immersive. The map is very dark, but it's not like annoying. There's tons of flashlights. It's really not that big of a deal. I will say once you reach the street section after you leave the subway and all of that like fog is in the streets and stuff like that, I don't like that. The super bright like lens flares, they really hurt your eyes. And I don't really think it adds a whole lot to the map. It just kind of makes it more annoying to look at. But overall, I really enjoy the map. It's very generous with its supply boxes. I'm pretty sure there's like 3 supply boxes and 3 med boxes you can get, and a gun store. So you're definitely not scarce on loot. I will say the amount of runners that they throw at you, like throughout the map, can get very tricky, especially once you reach the ending area with the RV and like the hospital and stuff like that. It gets very dicey in that area. But yeah, I'm gonna go with A tier. It's a solid, great map. Highly recommend playing it. I also really, really like the ending. All you do is grab the RV key and leave in an RV. You're not escaping with the military or escaping with a boat or escaping via helicopter. Because I feel like those finales get very like overused, or rather those extractions get very overused. I'll give it A tier for that. All right, we got Asylum next. Asylum is a very interesting map. It's definitely not standard like zombie survival map, I would say. It's definitely more of a gimmick map, a map you would play during Halloween. It honestly feels more like a how would I explain it? An experiment basically, because like you're basically trapped in an asylum and some like maniac is forcing you to do things in order to be extracted. You need to do the ritual for him, collect all the body parts, and defend the ritual and stuff like that. I do like those things, but I don't really like the vibe of the map. It just feels a little too Halloween-y, like a Jigsaw vibe kind of map. I don't know how to explain it. I'm high. I'm teetering on B and C because like they're really because it's definitely not DNF for sure. It's definitely not. It's got to go one or here. I kind of want to put it in B. I think the first couple of times I played it when I started playing No More Room in Hell, I would have put it in like C. But I think I've grown to like it a lot more. I used to really not like it for unrealistic it felt, but it's still a really fun map to play. Okay, so Boardwalk. Funny enough, I think the guy who made Asylum made Boardwalk, Dr. Hammer. I think that's his name. Boardwalk is a very good map. However, the runner section in the middle of the map. I don't hate the amount of runners that they throw at you, but I don't like that the runners can like spawn behind you. They can break down the wall behind you when you go into that. Like basically, if you're playing Broadway with a squad, and if somebody runs ahead and goes into the hole and runs past all of the runners, a crowd of runners will spawn behind the people who didn't go through the hole. So I feel like that really just kind of trips up the people who don't know about that. It just kind of makes it a little bullshit. And plus, the respawn point is so like close to that. Usually whenever someone runs ahead during that part, the entire team gets wiped. Whoever is still alive rushing, they run to the respawn point. Everyone respawns. The only weapons you get are like knives and bats, basically, and your fist. There's a sledgehammer nearby, but you gotta like walk past some zombies to get it. They could lure just a crowd of zombies to the respawn. Like, I think the respawn is just a little too close. I feel like he should have moved it into the holdout area, I think that would have been a little better. Plus, I also think the map probably just needs one more respawn somewhere, like towards the end. Maybe once the guy with the welder reaches the docks, that's when like another respawn hits or something. I don't know. Or maybe there's a respawn in like the secret loot room in the that dark area. I definitely like Boardwalk more than Asylum, so I'm gonna put it above it in B tier. But it definitely has some drawbacks, kind of like Asylum. But it's still great. It's still fun to play. It is 90% on a boardwalk. It really is what the map says. Meanwhile, Asylum is kind of like, okay, yeah, 40% of the map is in the Asylum and 60% of the map is just outside of the Asylum in like the yard area, you know what I mean? So, all right, now we have Broadway 1 and 2. I'm just going to rank them back to back. So I think I'm going to put Broadway 1. See, here's the thing, man. I love Broadway, but it gets so repetitive. I would say out of all the No More Room in Hell maps, Broadway 1 is the most repetitive. Like, it's just a little too overplayed for me, because Broadway 1 was one of the maps that I tried to solo the most when I first started playing this game. I used to think Broadway 1 was a hard map when I started playing No More Room in Hell. Mind you, I'm not ranking these maps based off of difficulty. These are purely ranked on my personal opinion and how much I like them. I've played Broadway too much. I used to think it was difficult, but now, after conquering it so much, I just kind of hold a resentment towards it because I just hate the fact that I used to think that it was difficult, but it's not. It's really, like, probably the most approachable, one of the most easy maps in the entire game, I would say. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it in C. It's just not anything too special. Visually, it is amazing, though. I do really like how the map looks visually. It's very immersive. I really like the way it looks, but it gets kind of boring after a while. However, Broadway 2, on the other hand, I'm going to put this one in A tier. No, I'm not going to put it above Anxiety, but I am going to put it in A tier with Anxiety. Behind Anxiety, I should say. Broadway 2 is just, I used to have like a love-hate relationship with it. I used to think it was the worst and best map in the game, and I still do, but I've grown to like it more over time. It's a decent little challenge, you know? I do think the the zombie kid spam in the basketball court area is a little too fucked up, but other than that, I don't really have that big of gripes with it. I mean, running up to the objective where you have to run to the roof and go back to the basketball court can be kind of repetitive too, but I also like doing that challenge in solo. If I'm playing solo, I love running back to the basketball court because it's just like a fun little challenge to do. But I really hate doing it in multiplayer because people get confused very easily. They run to the roof and then they have to run back down, which is really not on them. I do think that it is kind of poorly designed in that regard because a lot of them probably don't know that they can just go down the fire escape, and then they just run. I mean, running down the stairs isn't really that bad, but like some of them just get lost. You know what I mean? It's some new people who play, but I really enjoy Broadway 2. It's a great map. Definitely a step up in Broadway 1. Okay, Brooklyn. Brooklyn is another great map. I really think it's probably the most like visually appealing map. It's very detailed. I really like the start area where you start in like a little jail cell and then fighting through Brooklyn and shit like that. It's really good. I don't really have many complaints. Oh wait, yeah, I do. There are two main different objectives you can get when you play Brooklyn, and that's pushing the car out of the way for the truck and collecting the stuff for Mickey, the guy in the truck. I really, really like doing the looting stuff, collecting the food, water, and gas, you know? I think that's very fun, immersive, playful. It really makes the game feel like a zombie survival experience where you're actually collecting things you would need to survive, like food and water and gas, you know? However, I really don't like the second objective, pushing the car out of the way, because it's really glitchy, first of all. Like, in solo, it's not that big of a deal. You can just do it. But when you're doing a multiplayer, too many people push the car, and it just causes it to glitch and stutter, and it just doesn't... It's not efficient. It takes too long. And yeah, I just don't really like that part. So it's kind of like a 50-50 toss-up for me when I play Brooklyn. I just have to hope that we get the looting route instead of the pushing the car route because I like that one so much more. But I don't know where am I gonna put it though. I'm basically just trying to like compare it to these other ones here. I definitely like it more than not Broadway, Boardwalk, but I don't like it more than Broadway too. So it's just gonna be top B tier for me. And I think that's a good place for it. Top B tier for Brooklyn. It just feels like a map that's like it's good. You know, it's not great, it's not amazing, but it's good. You know, it's a good map. Next we got Cabin, probably the shortest map. When you play multiplayer, this map doesn't have a respawn. I think from what I've seen, there really isn't a respawn. It kind of suffers the same fate as Broadway for me. It got a little too overplayed for me. It's very easy, probably one of the easiest maps in the game with the squad. But solo, I feel like this map can be kind of tricky solo because it is a very narrow map. I feel like you really need to play Cabin solo to really understand the patience of No More Room in Hell and really taking your time and going through the halls. Or you can use it as like a training ground to like dodge through all the zombies in like a narrow area. And it also kind of teaches you to make quick decisions to, run out the door before, the zombies fucking pack it. Run out the door and grab the battery and set off the generator before you, leave. And I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I lost my train of thought in the middle of that sentence. But anyway, Cabin, it's above Broadway and C tier. It's meh, just kind of a meh map for me. Also, by the way, I'm not one of those guys that just only likes the difficult maps. I do like the more simplistic maps too. I kind of just have to be in a mood to play a map like Broadway and Cabin. All right, next we got Chinatown. I do enjoy this map a lot. I don't know, but I feel like if I just played the map right now, I probably would find some things to like nitpick about, but it's just a very fun map to fight through. It's very immersive. It's very approachable for a new player if you're I wouldn't say it's the easiest map though. I would say it's more of like a third or fourth map you try, not like a first map if you're diving in. But yeah, it's just kind of one of those maps where I like playing it with a squad and I like playing it solo. But I don't love it, it's not like amazing or anything. Putting it right behind Brooklyn. But I do like Chinatown more than Boardwalk and Asylum. Yeah, I think that makes sense in my head. Next we got Cleopas. Oh man. I really like this map. I remember when I first played Cleopas, I was so fucking confused. Like I had no idea what I was doing, where I was going. Like usually the maps are a lot more straightforward, but this map was just like so open. I would always just get like lost, I would always go into like dead ends and stuff like that. I would always just go walk up the streets and I was always kind of having fun exploring the map though. Like even when I was getting lost playing Cleopas, I always kind of had fun. And I think Cleopas is just one of those maps that kind of just makes you appreciate level design. Visually appealing, these maps can look in such a fucking old engine. It's just crazy to me. I think Cleopas is a really good map. I'm gonna put this one in A tier. Nah, I like it more than Broadway 2. It's a really fun map to play with friends. Oh, wait, hold on. Actually, I am going to dock it down just a little bit because it can get a little repetitive solo because there can be a lot of backtracking. But I feel like that's just kind of the point of the map, That's why I like the map, I guess. I like exploring it, I like how it looks, I like how it plays. It's just an appealing map to me. All right. Next we got FEMA. Oh man. Another one of those maps that I used to hate when I started playing this game, but I've grown to really like it over time. But there is one problem with this map that I feel like a lot of other maps suffer from, and it's just having one like bullshit objective to do solo, Like with a squad, it's obviously not that bad. I get it. The game is meant to be played with a squad, So I am ranking that within consideration too, so keep in mind. But I also do want to try to like kind of rank these maps with solo play in mind because I am a solo player. I started playing this game solo. My first time ever playing this game, I didn't load into a server. I loaded my own game, played the game by myself, It was just how I approached the game when I first played it, So, and the first time I ever really saw gameplay that made me really want to play this game, shout out to Protoshard. The first time I saw gameplay, it was solo play, So I have to rank it in that regard. But as I was saying, this map has one really bad objective solo, and that's closing the gate in the underground area. I think it's called like the specimen gate or something. I cannot stand doing that part solo because it's always a pain in the ass, bro. First of all, you have to go and grab the crank, and then as soon as you turn the corner, there's just like a pack of zombies. You have to place the crank in an area with a bunch of zombies, and if you can work your way around them, you have to open the gate, and during that time where you're dealing with all of that, a large crowd of zombies normally forms around the specimen gate, so you can't go through. You legitimately can't go through the gate because there's so many zombies blocking now. Now, there are workarounds. If you have an AR, you could just shoot your way out, which is, normally what I go to. If you have a TNT, throw the TNT, get the zombies out of the way, that sort of thing. Or you can place the crank, walk away from that area completely to reset the zombie spawns, and then walk back, and then open the door, and then hope that all of the zombies behind the door despawned. Those are your options mainly. But I just hate doing all of them. I mean, out of all of them, shooting through with a gun is the most appealing to me. But I just hate doing all of those things, I hate using the TNT in that area because it's kind of finicky. You're probably going to blow yourself up or throw it wrong. And I hate running away from an area to reset zombie spawns because it just feels cheap. But other than that, the map is amazing. I do really, really like this map. I feel like the ending, though, could be a little bit more difficult. I feel like the ending could have a little bit more runners. Like, there's really only, 2 runners, and that's it at the end. And it's, this massive area, this super open yard area. And it's so easy to just walk around the zombies. You know what I mean? I just feel like there should just be a little bit more runners in that area to just make it a little bit more challenging. But I don't hate it for that. That's just a nitpick on my part. But yeah, I've yapped enough on FEMA. I'm gonna put it in A tier behind Cleopas. Actually, nah. I like this map more than Cleopas. I think it just plays a little better. It's a lot more straightforward. There's not a lot of backtracking. If Cleopas is going to be an A tier, it has to be bottom A tier for that fact alone because it has so much backtracking, But I do really like the map visually for it to be an A tier. All right. We're not going back to these. We have to focus on these. Junction. I think this map's pretty underrated, honestly. When I used to play in the official servers, nobody played this map. And the people who did, they would usually leave when this map would come up in the voting rotation. Upsetting, because I do really like it. It's very good. I've seen some people in the No More Room in Hell Discord say that this map kind of lacks objective direction. It doesn't have a lot of unique objectives and stuff like that, which is fair. But honestly, I feel like that's kind of in my opinion, that's kind of a lukewarm take because every single map has very boring objectives. Maybe that's just me because I've played so many custom maps with so many unique objectives that it just kind of makes me think god damn, they could really do so much more with this game. But I mean, that's probably why they have No More Room in Hell 2, But I think we can all agree that No More Room in Hell 2 is its own beast. The games are not even comparable in my eyes. No More Room in Hell 1 and 2. They are their own games. But we're not going to talk about that. We're talking about Junction. Oh god. Where am I going to put Junction though? Do I think it's good enough to be in in A tier though? No. Like I do like it, but I don't think it I don't think it's A tier. I think it's like in front of Chinatown for me, behind Brooklyn. It's a solid map, a very fun map to solo, and just a fun map to play with the squad. A lot of people can get lost in the sewer area, but even still, it's not that big of a deal. It's very easy to like help out anyone that's lost in the sewer, especially if you made it to like the end of it. You can just like stay back while everyone else goes ahead with the key. You can stay back and see if anyone got lost. It's not too bad. Next, we got Lakeside. I hate to bring this up for this map specifically and not the other ones, but I just have to mention it. This map has so many like different routes. Like, I'm not taking that into consideration with every map, including this one, but I just wanted to point that out that this Lakeside has so many different routes. And I think my favorite one of them all is the one where you have to go into the underground tunnel section and turn on the generators. I don't know why I like that one so much. It just feels like the more like worthwhile route to take because I feel like you really get to see the map the most. I feel like you don't really miss much when you I feel like you don't really miss much when you do that objective. I feel like you see everything because I feel like there are times where you miss the highway section where you have to go through like the underground highway. But yeah, it's good. I probably put it in B tier, maybe? I'm trying to see where I'm gonna put it in between all of these, though. I think I like Lakeside more than Junction. I know I kind of just put it in like the same spot. I know B tier is just getting filled up. Above average, essentially, B tier. That's what it is. But not like great or amazing. All right, so now, finally, we are getting into some spiciness. Quarantine. I cannot fucking stand this map. I think this map sucks, honestly. I'm gonna put it in F tier. I think I have to I have to set a baseline at this point. Like I haven't put one in S or like D or F. I have to set a baseline, and I think quarantine is gonna be that baseline. This shit sucks for so many reasons. Okay, I will say this is the only time where I'm going to be a little bit more biased because with a team, this map is like in between D and F. But solo, oh my god, this fucking map drove me insane. The fucking closing the quarantine gate, not the specimen gate from FEMA. This one has something called the quarantine gate. Dude, doing that shit solo is a pain in the ass. Even more so, I can give it a pass on FEMA because the map is still good. But oh my god, bro. So basically, you have to hold E to close a gate, and while you're doing that, a bunch of fucking zombie, I wouldn't say a bunch, but like a few zombie kids are being thrown at you. And it just makes it annoying, all right? But dude, the amount of fucking walkers that spawn behind you is so annoying. So you essentially have to deal with like a couple of zombie kids being thrown at you from the front, and then all of these fucking walkers are right behind you, slowly creeping up on you as you're slowly closing the fucking gate. It is such a pain in the ass to do solo. Like I said, with a squad, it's not that bad because you have people defending you. One person can close it, the others can defend them. I get that. But oh my god, dude. Now, I will say this isn't like the hardest map ever. That objective isn't the most challenging, but it's definitely the most annoying fucking objective I've ever played at No More Room in Hell. I can't stand it. I hate that. And plus, I hate the starting area. I cannot stand the starting area in the sense that the loot is so trash. You start out with like the best weapons in the starting area are like a sledgehammer, a 22 with one clip, a grenade, a revolver, and a bandage. That's it. And like a baseball bat, maybe sometimes like I don't know, something else, a shotgun in the corner. But it's really not that much stuff compared to how many zombies you have to fight through to get out of that area. I can't stand fighting through the spawn area. It's so like It's so cluttered. And then the next area where you have to take the shovel to the graveyard and open all of those fucking graves and get a fucking gas can that's for some reason buried underground. Like, it's just, oh, I can't stand it. I hate it. It doesn't make sense. The objectives don't make sense. Closing the quarantine gate doesn't make sense because if you don't do it in time, you fucking die to an explosion, which is just confusing because, like, it's just like a metal door. It's literally one metal door. How can that survive? Okay, I'm getting a little nitpicky. I'm not gonna lie, but oh my god, the only things I like about this map are the sewer section, which isn't saying much because sewer sections in games like this and Left 4 Dead are fucking annoying usually. I wouldn't say annoying. They're just kind of like repetitive and boring in my opinion. The sewer section is good and the ending holdout is pretty good as well. I don't mind the ending holdout. But even still with the ending holdout, you get like it's pretty easy to get like overwhelmed and stressed because there's just so many zombies at that ending. But I don't mind it overall. It's a decent ending, Having what you've gone through, having to fucking close that stupid gate. And mind you, I'm talking about this from a solo perspective, like playing this map solo. And I hate to be biased in this regard, but I have to. I have to. This map drove me insane playing it solo. I feel like nowadays I could probably beat it a little bit easier, like my skills have definitely improved. But dude, oh my god, when I was just a noob at this game, this map drove me insane. I couldn't stand it. I hate it. I still hate it. It's just, it's poop. And plus the map is just too dark. I feel like the map could be a little brighter. I feel like it should have taken the book out of, or it should have taken the book. It should have taken a page out of Junction's book where it should have made it like dark-ish, where it's like, it's a dark map, but it's not like blinding, All right. Finally, we are getting into some heat. More specifically, this one. Rock Pit. I love Rock Pit. This map is so fun, dude. Now, this one might be a hot take because I know a couple of my friends don't like Rock Pit. They hate this map, actually. I wouldn't say they hate it, but, I'm just being a little passionate right now because I'm deep into this fucking tier list right now. How long have I been recording? I've already been recording for 40 minutes. Oh my god. But Rock Pit is... It's such a fun map, bro. I love the setting. I don't know why. I think the guy's name is Sir Doggy. I don't like saying that name if I'm going to be honest, but Sir Doggy, shout out to you, man. I think you're the guy who made Rock Pit. This map is just so fucking fun. I don't know where he came up with the idea to have I don't know where he came up with the idea to have it in like a mining facility. Like that setting for this type of game is just so cool to me. I don't know why. When you first walk out of the doors, you're greeted with a locked door, so you have to like immediately use a welder, open the door, walk out. But as soon as you walk out of that second door, I was blown away. That shit just looks so cool to me. Like, I just loved the aesthetics of Rock Pit, man. I love it. Now, the gameplay can be a little dicey. It can get a little repetitive at some points. It can be very challenging. And I think that's one thing I do also like about this map. It's a balanced challenge. Mind you, I'm not ranking it entirely based on, like, oh, it's a good challenge, or it's like, it's a good challenge, I like it. But it's just a fun challenge for solo. Now, the two endings, the gauntlet ending where you have to open the gate and rush through the crowd of zombies, that's not that bad. That's actually pretty easy, I would say. The holdout for Rock Pit is such a crazy challenge, man. Like, doing that shit solo is crazy. Doing it with a nice, like, coordinated group, it can be, like, so goddamn easy, actually. Like, super easy. But solo, oh my god. Doing that is so challenging. And I love it, though. I love Rock Pit, though. It's such a good map. Visually and gameplay-wise, in my opinion. There are some downsides to multiplayer, though, like the elevators. There are 2 elevators that people can get, like, locked out of, Well, not locked out of, but it can, like, delay them, they can get left behind and they have to wait for the elevators to come back down, and it's just pain in the ass. You're a douche if you do that, by the way. You know who you are. Rock Pit is just one of my favorite maps, dude. I love it so much. All right, next. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. This one right here, Shelter. This map. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a bit of a No More Room in Hell nerd. So I am in the No More Room in Hell Discord, and dude, the amount of people that fucking shit on Shelter in the No More Room in Hell community. I think we can. At this point, I think I can say, in my opinion, that Shelter is like one of the most hated maps in the game. I don't know if it's because of like a visual standpoint or like a difficulty standpoint, balancing or something. I don't know. But either way, this map gets a lot of shit. And if you scroll through the No More Room in Hell Discord, you could probably see that I've actually defended this map a few times. I don't know if that really makes me an odd man out, because I do think there are people that also like it, but I think it is just like a very loud few people, I should say. It's mainly like 4 or 5 people in the No More Room in Hell Discord that really, really constantly shit on Shelter. They've kind of slowed down on it now, which is good, because it, like, the fucking map maker is in the Discord, it's like, it's just kind of douchey to just shit on a map while the dude is just like in the Discord, because they were constantly like making this fucking they were constantly making this this it feels like they were trying to make this map like a meme, and I just don't get it, because like I don't think the map is that bad, it's I like it, it's a good map. It can be challenging, it's definitely one of the more challenging maps, but I feel like it shouldn't be held back for that. I don't think it is, though. I feel like they're holding it back because it's just like, the map definitely feels more like a custom map. Like, you can really tell Shelter was a custom map originally, and then it became an official map. But I feel like the map is good enough to be official status. Would I have picked other ones? Sure, yeah, but like, I still really like this map, And I really like the early versions of this map, too. Those ones are really fun. But like, it's Shelter's okay. I don't mind it. With that being said, I think it's just gonna be in like a B or a C, maybe. I think I'm gonna put it in C though. Because here's my reasoning for this. I don't like it more than Asylum. It's just not good, great, or amazing. It's just yeah. Shelter. It's like, it's so like middle of the road for me that I don't even know why it became a meme. Like, I really don't. It's fine. Like, it's just, it's a decent, challenging map. That's all I got from Shelter, I guess if you would have asked me when I first started playing it, I would have hated it because, I was new and I hated all the challenging maps. But it's fine. All right. I think we can move on now. Next, we got Shoreline. Fun fact about Shoreline. Shoreline is the most recent map that got added. And it was also made by Sir Doggy, the guy who made Rock Pit. I know that for a fact now. Yeah. Because here's my thing with Shoreline. I'm not the biggest fan of this map, I'm going to be honest. This map is so grueling. I feel like Shoreline is a very like underrated, challenging map for solo runs. Because the map just gives you nothing, dude. Like, the bullets that are scattered around the map is just so very few. And it's always so sporadic, Like, you never know what kind of bullets you're going to get. You're going to get, like, 9mm, and then 22, and then fucking, shotgun shells, 357, 308, 762. It's just like, you get so many different bullet calibers, and it's always in such low quantities. It's always, like, 1, 2, or, like, 5. It's like, I hate playing this map solo. I really do. With a squad, though, it's not that bad. So I am going to be a little bit more generous in that regard. But, oh my gosh. I think if we were ranking these maps off of visuals alone, Shoreline would be like an S tier map. Like, it is probably the most, like, aesthetically pleasing map to look at out of all No More Room in Hell maps, in my personal opinion. But I just, it's just not balanced to my liking, which is, like, such a douchey thing to say. But, like, that's just how it is. Like, I don't like the balancing of this map. I feel like it could have just been, like, a little bit more generous. If you scroll deep on my channel, I did full uncut, no commentary runs of all of the official objective maps. And I did Shoreline. And in each description, I would give, like, a review, a brief monologue, essentially, of what I thought of each map. And one thing I said in the description of my Shoreline run was, if Shoreline just had just one supply box, the map would be saved in my eyes. Just one supply box. That's all I'm asking. It doesn't even have to be like a good one either. It can be like one of the low end supply boxes where it can give you like fuel wrenches and like meat cleavers and shit like that. I just feel like this map just needs like something. You know, it just needs a little something to give you a boost, you know? And also, another thing I am not the biggest fan of when it comes to Shoreline is the ending. The ending holdout solo is a big pain in the ass. I can't stand it. It is, oh, it's so rough. But with the squad, it's not that bad, obviously. Like I said, you know, playing solo and playing with a squad are just like two different beasts for me, you know? But man, Shoreline just has like a lot of things I don't like about it. Another thing I can't stand about it is the spawn rates in like the center area. There's like a center area where there's like a big SWAT truck and like a big shed where you have to get the welder. That area has so many zombies, it is insane. Even if you lure them away, run in quickly, there's just so many zombies and you really have to like try to shoot and maneuver your way through, man. Like, it's a lot. I wouldn't say it's like unbalanced or anything. It's just really difficult and it just kind of irks me a lot. I'm not going to lie. Like the way the area is laid out, that sort of thing, you know, mixed in with the huge pack of zombies. I will say I don't hate this map as much as Quarantine, so it is going in D tier. That is one thing. So at least we have like a decent spread of maps here. But yeah, next we got Sizho. I personally think that this is, in terms of solo play, this is the most challenging map in the game, in my opinion. The ending is just too fucked up. It's too small of an area, and there's too many runners. I think it's also just because I'm just not the best with the chainsaw. Like, even if the map gives you the chainsaw with a lot of fuel, I just suck with it. And even still, like, when I use a chainsaw, it has to be the 100 fuel chainsaw. Like, I much prefer the 100 fuel chainsaw over the abrasive saw. Maybe not much prefer it, but I definitely prefer it over that one. I just don't like the ending of Sizho. Everything else about it is perfectly fine. But the ending is just a huge drawback for me. Huge drawback. I don't like the ending of Sizho. But I have grown to like this map over time. This is definitely a squad map. This was never a map that was intended to be played solo. I can even almost guarantee that Sizho was never play tested solo when it was like released officially in the game. I feel like it was purely made to be played with a squad. But not to say that the map is impossible, obviously. Like, the map is possible. It's just, I do think the map is just a little unbalanced in terms of solo play for the ending. But again, I get it. The game was not meant to be played. No More Room in Hell was not meant to be played solo. I understand that. I understand that. That's why I'm ranking playing it with friends in mind. Besides Quarantine, though. That one was a little bit more biased, I'm not going to lie, but I have to set a baseline. That one was going to go in F tier. I knew it from the jump. Some of my friends knew it. I hate that map. I don't think Sizho is like D tier. I think it deserves like a C at least. Shit, this might be a hot take. I prefer Shelter over Sizho. Fight me on it. I don't know. Shelter just has more to it, to be honest. I just like it more. I will say, though, the setting of Suzhou is a lot better than Shelter. Because like the setting is in like Suzhou, China, and it visually looks like you're in a place in China, and it looks amazing. But Shelter kind of looks more like a Shelter looks more kind of like an industrial area. All right, next we got Toxith. Okay, so there's two different types of Toxith maps. There's this one and Toxith Dark. I'm basically just ranking both of them as one because they are the same exact map. Toxith Dark is literally just the regular Toxith but nighttime. So I'm not ranking them separately. I'm just ranking them both because they are the same fucking map. The time of day doesn't fucking change anything, in my opinion. I would say, in terms of being a new player, Toxith is probably the most approachable map. Like, I would highly recommend, like, if anyone were to ask me, like, hey, I've never played No More Room in Hell, what's the first map I should play solo? I would highly recommend Toxith. It's probably the most approachable map solo, without a doubt. With a squad, though, like, I would say, like, if your first time playing No More Room in Hell is going to be with a squad, just play any map at that point. It doesn't really matter. Experience the entire game. But if you really want to, like, pinpoint what are the most difficult and what are the easiest maps in No More Room in Hell to solo, I would say Toxith is definitely like one of the easiest without a doubt. It is just like straightforward, a little bit of backtracking. It kind of prepares you for the repetitiveness of a lot of like the other maps, and just like the repetitiveness of like the game overall because the game is extremely slow paced, So Toxith, without a doubt, the most approachable map to play solo as a beginner. And I feel like for that reason it's pretty good. I do like it visually. This map kind of joints in with Cleopas. They both take place in Liverpool, I think. So I guess that's kind of cool. You could like create some like lore there where these maps are like connected. I feel like Toxith would take place first and then Cleopas would take place second, but that's just me. Definitely one of the better, easier maps. I definitely like it a lot more than Cabin and Broadway. Also, I really like the secret loot room in one of the houses. If you go into the basement, there's a secret wall. If you press E on it, there's a 50-50 chance that it will open a secret underground area with a coded room that has like a bunch of loot in it. It is kind of a bummer that it's 50-50, but I do kind of like that it's 50-50, so it's like kind of different each time, so that's fun. There's instances where you could get like just a giant massive haul of loot on this map, and it just makes this map just like a power fantasy essentially. And I just really like the store section of this map. Like I love exploring the Samco, where you have to go into the grocery store and get the key and signal rescue in the radio room. But man, I love going through that part. That part is so visually appealing to me. It's just it's so good. Where am I putting it though? Where am I putting it? I'm gonna go behind Asylum, B tier. My fucking tier list kind of looks like a rocket ship. Or like a middle finger. I didn't mean for that, I promise. It's just like a lot of maps are just good, Like they're not amazing or great, but they're just good, And Toxith is one of those. All of these maps I feel like are like the good maps in my opinion, you know what I mean? Oh boy, I've been waiting for this one. I'm just gonna fucking do it. Underground is my favorite map of all time. I fucking love this map, dude. I don't know why people hate this map so much. Like, and I don't even understand why people think that this map is like overly challenging. I mean, it is a challenging map, I will say. Like, yeah, it is definitely a challenging map. But I wouldn't say it's like the most challenging map in the game. Most people say it is, but I don't. It's not that bad. In my opinion, at least, it's really not that bad. In terms of difficulty, that is. But I love playing this map with a squad and solo, especially solo, man. This map is such a fun challenge solo. Oh, I can't get enough of it, man. I love the starting area. I love fighting through the tunnel highway area. It's very narrow. It's very fun to like dodge through the zombies. Getting the key is kind of like meh. That like whole area doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But then I love going into the next like tunnel area and fighting through that crowd of zombies because it's even more narrow and like intense. It's just it really gets the blood pumping when you run through those crowds of zombies, dude. It's so fucking fun, man. It's so fun to dodge the zombies on this map. And then there is the parkour section where you have to jump through the jump onto the crates and avoid the electric water that will insta kill you if you land in it. So that part can get a little dicey, but I like it. It's a fun little parkour area. You fight through some more tunnels. I will say getting the TNT is kind of boring. It's a little backtracking. It gets a little repetitive and like um it's just kind of annoying overall because a lot of it's such a narrow area with a lot of zombies sometimes, and crawling through that little like that little like concrete like that hollow concrete circle thing. It's like I hate that area because you can get stuck in there pretty easily. But yeah, getting the TNT is not the best. And then the shipping container part. Oh my god. I can understand why people don't like that part. It gets a little like challenging, and it's like it's very goofy the way like a bunch of zombies are just like in like these shipping container, or rather a bunch of runners are in these like shipping containers. But I love it, man. It's such a fun challenge to do. You can go at your own pace. I will say it is like a big grief spot. Like a lot of griefers can just like run in there, open the doors, and like have all the zombies run out and attack the team. So that part can get kind of annoying, but overall, I just love doing that part. If you have like a nice team and you do go through that part like very coordinated, it's so good, man. I love it. And then the above ground section, oh, I love that part too, dude. So you know how Brooklyn has the looting section? That's basically the same thing but in underground. And you have to collect different items, which I will say the items that you collect don't really make a whole lot of sense. Like you collect a paint can, a fucking flare, and a car battery, you know. Like I understand that those things are to signal rescue, but I would much prefer like if it was like somehow spinned in a way where it was like you have to collect food, water, fuel, you know, like actual essential things, you know. That's when looting is more fun, in my opinion, in No More Room in Hell, where you actually have to collect like actual survival gear instead of like a flare and a fucking like a fucking well, a flare can be survival gear actually now that I think about it, but you know what I mean, like stuff that just feels more like beneficial in the long term instead of something that's just like, oh, okay, we need to circle around this map and collect these three things, this specific thing to set off the holdout, you know? Like it just seems a little unnecessary. Plus I feel like using like the bell cart thing just seems a little excessive because the items are so tiny. But, you know, it's fun to use the bell cart anyway because you can put like whatever items you want on it and people can just grab what they want. So that's fun. Um but yeah, I love Underground. I can't stop raving about this map. It's definitely my favorite map without a doubt. Second favorite map, Broadway, and yeah, Anxiety, my third favorite map. Or no, wait, second favorite map, Rock Pit, and my third favorite map, Anxiety. Yeah, I think that makes sense for me. Okay, now the last objective map. We are finally on to the last objective map, Zephyr. Now, Zephyr is a very short map. I think this map is even shorter than Cabin, I'm pretty sure. But Zephyr is a very, very short map, very easy map, and I think it's pretty good. I like the setting. It takes place in like a little train yard, essentially. It's very neat. Um, the beginning parts are a little boring though. If you get the sewer route, it's kind of meh. Oh, there is one really, really cool feature that I really like about this map, and that's if you somehow find a flare gun, which the flare gun is a little uncommon. It's not rare, but it is uncommon. If you can find a flare gun, keep the flare gun, do not shoot a single bullet, until you get to the very end of the map, until you're in like that big train area. Walk to like the center of the train area and shoot the flare gun into the sky, and you can call in a fucking supply box from the sky. Like, I wish some of these other maps had that. I feel like maps like Cleopas, Brooklyn, like I feel like those maps would also be really, really good maps for that feature. But I'm pretty sure this and a survival map, I'm pretty sure Zephyr is the only map that has that feature where you could just shoot a flare in the sky and a supply box drops down. Or a helicopter flies over and they drop a supply box. That alone, I think that shit's cool as fuck. Like it's so minuscule, and it really doesn't even that matter because there is like, well, it's not guaranteed, but there is like another supply box in the middle of the map. But it's so neat. I like it. I like it a lot. But I don't know where I'm putting this one, if I'm gonna be honest. I think the map is just a little too short, a little too bland for it to be in like a higher tier, like A or S. I mean, shit. If it's going in S tier, it's going in S tier purely for the fact that you can call in a supply box. But no, I think I'm gonna put it in like B, bottom B tier. So probably like I like it more than Toxith, so I'll put it in front of Toxith, behind Asylum. All right, there we go. Let's look through this a little bit, make sure if there's anything I want to change. I think I kind of just want to like retroactively bump up Anxiety to S tier because these are my top 3 favorite maps. Does it deserve an S tier though? I wonder if Pork Chops is watching this. Pork Chops, if you're watching, I am a fan of your maps. Anxiety is amazing. And Hard Time, you also made Hard Time. That's a good one. Is it bad that I kind of just want to do it like visually for like, because I think that looks a little aesthetically pleasing for the tier list. I'm not gonna lie. As opposed to this. This looks like a little bit more goofy. I feel like I have to be a little bit more harsh too. So yeah, I'm gonna keep Anxiety in A tier. It's so close to being S tier though. Like before, it used to be Underground and Anxiety. Maybe I think that's what it is. Maybe it's like a toss up between like Rock Pit and Anxiety. Sometimes it's like my favorite map of all time is gonna stay Underground. Like that's gonna be the number one without a doubt, no question. But I feel like Rock Pit and Anxiety do kind of have like I feel like I could switch these two around and it wouldn't really matter, you know? Like, I'm happy with either one of those. Because they both do kind of have, like, some drawbacks that do bring it down a little bit, you know? But I'm gonna keep it how it originally was. Anxiety in A tier and Rock Pit in S tier for now. I feel like those two might be the biggest discrepancies, though. Other than that, I feel like this is perfect. These are my favorite. No More Room in Hell objective maps, I guess. But we still have so much more to do. We still have the survival maps, the melee weapons, and the guns. And the grenades. So, oh boy, guess move on to those now. Holy shit. I was recording for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Oh my god. Okay, so we are now on to the survival maps. Survival map fans, this one's for you. However, I am probably not going to do this justice because I am not going to lie. Not the biggest fan of the survival mode in No More Room in Hell, but I have grown to tolerate it though. If my friends are in the mood to play a survival map, I will play it. It's just kind of one of those things where it's like other people kind of have to be in the mood for it for me to be in the mood for it, you know? I wouldn't go out of my way to just play a survival map. And no, I have no plans on soloing any survival maps. That sounds like the most boring shit ever to me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you like survival maps, though. I'm not going to be too harsh on these, though. But I am going to speed run through these a little bit. So sorry if I speed through these a little bit. I'm not going to be dissecting these maps as much as I did on the objective maps, you know? Like I said, the objective mode is mainly what I play, so I obviously was going to dissect those maps a lot compared to these, which is survival mode, which I don't play very often. But I will say I have played and beaten all of these maps at least once. I can comfortably say that, all right? I have every achievement unlocked for every single one of these maps. So I'm going in with that knowledge alone. But I have played some of these more than others. Let's get into this. R play, art play. Um, I mean, it's good. I'll go like B tier. I just don't know. I don't know what to go off of. What am I ranking it on? Like visually, I guess that's the main thing I'm ranking it on because I just don't like the gameplay of survival mode in general. So it's like I guess I have to kind of rank them on visuals. So I guess our play A because it looks really cool. Camilla, uh, um, this is the diner one. I know that. Fuck B. I think that one just kind of felt a little boring. I don't really like the upstairs part of it. Yeah. Um, Camp Blood. I have played this map. I think this is probably the one I have played the most, without a doubt. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go S tier on that alone. I like this map. It's good. Good survival map, I would say. Also, like I said, I've never soloed survival maps, so I'm purely ranking this based off of how I've experienced it with friends, you know? I've had fun playing Camp Blood. I think I've played Camp Blood on Nightmare mode before, too, and that was kind of, I don't really like Nightmare either, so that's just me, though. Drugstore. Uh, don't really remember much about this one, so I'm just gonna put it in C tier. Favela. This one visually is really cool. I don't remember liking the balancing of this map though, because I remember B tier. I remember the zone B always getting overrun because nobody would ever watch it. So I think it's because just a lot of zombies go in that area and it's hard to control, I guess. I don't know. But either way, uh visually though this map's cool, so I'll put it in like A tier. I'll put it above our play. Silence. This is another really cool visual map, like visually appealing map. It takes place in a church. I like the area. It looks cool. I just wish I had more to say, man. Like I can't. I really don't. Like I don't play these maps, so I can only really go off of visuals, and I don't really like survival mode. So whatever. I'll put it in front of Favela. Cool looking map. I really like the church setting. Flooded. I'm pretty sure this map got like didn't it get like remade in No More Room in Hell 2 or something? When survival mode got added. This one's cool. I guess. Kind of boring, like all survival maps though, so I can't really not fair to rank it on that. I remember watching PewDiePie play this fucking map a long time ago when he fucking made like 2 No More Room in Hell videos. Nostalgia makes me want to put it in B, I guess. So yeah, we'll put it there. Isolated. Oh yeah, okay. I got this map confused with another one, Midwest. But Isolated is really cool visually. It has it's like this cabin almost, and you can like walk up this trail and it leads you to like this whole other area. Like visually this is probably one of my favorite maps. I like this one a lot. And it has some pretty cool traps too. I remember those. So yeah, I'll go Isolated, S tier, above Camp Blood and the rest. The Night of the Living Dead map. This is probably one of the most over fucking played No More Room in Hell maps of all fucking time. People would always vote for this map in official servers. Always, every single time. I don't know what it is about this map. I guess it's just the Night of the Living Dead factor, but oh my god. It's so overplayed. So overrated. But I mean, it's kind of cool. Still, visually appealing map. Very small map too. I guess that's another reason why people like it. Like a nice, small, concise map. I'm gonna go C tier above Drugstore because at least like it's not forgettable. Like it might be overrated, but it's not forgettable to me. So, or it's not even overrated. It's just overplayed. People played it way too much when I played on official servers. So thank God I don't play on officials anymore. Okay, Ransack. Ah. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember Ransack. Ransack was the first survival map I ever played and beat. Yeah. It mainly takes place in like the store, and then there's like the street that kind of wraps around the store, and it leads in like to this alleyway. You can go in through the back of the store. Very cool map actually. This was actually not too bad for like my first time playing a survival map all the way through. I feel like for that alone, it gets like an A tier. We'll put it. We'll put it. Fucking. I don't know. Fucking. A tier. Put it above Favela, I guess. I don't know. No real rhyme or reason, no real thought into where I'm putting them. Hey, at least they're getting high rankings, though. Because they're not like. Because, like I said, I'm mainly ranking them based off of visuals. And, like, survival mode is just, like, you know, what it is. You're just surviving and holding out and getting supply boxes occasionally. Like, if I had to rank survival mode, I would put it in F tier, you know? But I'm just ranking the maps. We're just ranking the maps. All right, Midwest. Midwest is the map that ties in with Zephyr, actually. So I'm pretty sure Zephyr takes place first, and then immediately after that is Midwest. So that's pretty cool. I really, really like when the maps try to connect. So for that alone, it gets a high ranking because I don't have much to go off of. It's not that crazy in terms of visuals because it's just a street. So we'll actually just put it in like B tier, top B tier. But it is nice that it ties in with one of the other maps. Laundry. I don't know much. Oh, this one has like a trap. Yeah, this one has like an electric trap. This map is actually pretty big from what I remember. It's like a V shape, and like there's these two streets that are in the shape of a V, and they can go one side and the other, and they both there's like a gun store too. Oh yeah, I forgot that all like survival maps, oh maybe not all of them, but most survival maps have like loot rooms and stuff. Oh, see usually when I play survival maps, I just let other people do that shit, so I just don't pay attention to that. I'm mainly just focused on mindlessly killing zombies and collecting loot that I can see. The laundry's pretty cool. Good survival map, I would say. I'm gonna go. We'll go like bottom A tier, I guess. Next, or last, actually. Yeah, that's the last one. Northway. This one takes place in the mall. Oh, this one's actually really good. I think this is probably my favorite survival map, actually. Because this one is, like, a little bit more interactive. You get to, it takes place in, like, an entire mall. So that's cool. You get to, like, loot all the different stores and stuff like that. It gets very immersive. I like the supply boxes falling through the window, like, the skylights and stuff. And there's like before you can extract from the map, you have to clear out all the zombies in the mall, and then you have to shut all of the doors. And that's essentially the ending of the map. And I really like that. It's like it's more like a defend your homestead, more of just like your standard survival map where you're kind of like running around like a big sprawling map and like opening different areas and like getting loot and like packing all of your loot into one central area and defending all these zones. But this one feels more like you're defending your base, you know? So yeah, I think Northway is probably my favorite survival map. Yeah, for sure. I think I would put I was I was gonna put Camp Blood above Isolated, but no, Isolated's visuals alone, Isolated is so cool. I love looking at that map. I would just walk around that map idly. I wouldn't even care to like play the actual like survival game mode. But enough me dogging on survival mode. That's it. That's the survival maps tier list portion of this. Sorry I didn't do this much justice because like I said, fuck survival mode. No, I'm joking. If you enjoy survival mode, I hope these were ranked to your liking. But if not, I'm sorry. I know some people are probably going to be mad that Night of the Living Dead is in C tier, but I stand by it. It's overplayed. Damn, that was only 13 minutes compared to the 1 hour and like what 14. Jesus Christ. Alright, we're now on to the melee weapons. So, we're only going to be ranking the melee weapons first, and then we're going to be ranking the guns after this. We just got done doing the maps, and I wanted to do the guns and the melees separately because they are two different weapon classes. It doesn't really make sense to rank them at the same time. Like, it's kind of hard to compare the axe to, like, an AR or something. It doesn't make sense to me, you know, so I'm gonna try to do this as concise as I did with the official maps. Like, I want to really take my time on this and showed you what has worked for me playing this game and soloing this game and using all these weapons and stuff. Show you guys my full personal opinion. I am going to take another bong rip because it's been a minute since I've smoked. I mean, I've already invested an hour into doing these lists. Oh man, can't wait to cough every other sentence now. At least I have water this time. Alright, let's get into this. I'm probably going to spend some time on more weapons than others because I do have a lot more to say about certain weapons as opposed to others, and really dissect some of them, especially the heavy weapons, because I'm still kind of torn on some of those ones. First up, the fist. Your fist. I think we can all agree, if you've ever played No More Room in Hell and tried to use your fist as a weapon, it's like a D or an F tier weapon. But I'm gonna put it in C tier because it is fun. Like, using your fist is extremely fun. I feel like the best way to use your fist is to kill the crawlers. Just getting that, like, single punch on the crawler's face is just super satisfying, so I think it just deserves a C tier. It's definitely not B, not A, definitely not in the upper tiers, if you ask me. Alright, the pickaxe. This one's tough, I'm not gonna lie, because I don't know if I want to put it in S or A. I think I'm gonna put it in S, though. It is probably my favorite heavy weapon, without a doubt. It used to be the sledgehammer, but I think I've liked the pickaxe a lot more these days. I have been using it a lot more. It's been a little bit more efficient. I think the weak swing with the pickaxe is much better than the one with the sledgehammer. The heavy swing with the sledgehammer is much better than the heavy swing with the pickaxe. So I feel like they kind of have like their ups and downs. It's a fantastic heavy weapon, without a doubt. All right, the E-tool. It's, I'll put it in like B. It's usable. It's good. It doesn't have like a large. I mean, it does kind of have like a very unnecessarily long charge time, but it's not the longest. The weak swing is horrendous, though. It's pretty fun to use against zombie kids, though. I don't know why. Like, use it. I feel like hitting a massive crowd of zombie kids with the E-tool is very efficient. I don't know if that's just me, though, but also, I do not understand the fucking purpose of the shield. If you press, like, R or something, you can turn the E-tool into a shield. And I don't think that does shit, personally. It makes it better for shoving, but I don't see a difference. I genuinely don't see a difference. Then again, maybe I haven't used it enough to get that far. I mean, I do have the achievements for it, so maybe it's just that. I mean, I've been playing the game for a while, so I have the achievements for most of these fucking weapons. But it's B, you know, it's usable. It's good. The shovel, on the other hand, I'm gonna drop it down because it's just I would rather have the E-tool, you know? It's an unnecessarily big, heavy weapon. I can understand picking the pickaxe over the sledgehammer, or like the sledgehammer over the pickaxe, or even the fire axe over both of those. But I could never see anyone in this planet say like, yeah, heavy shovel is my favorite weapon. Like, no way. It makes me want to drop it down a little bit more, but come on. It is more usable than the fist, let's be honest. The only reason fists are in C tier is because they're just fun to use. Next we got the crowbar. I would say crowbar is a solid A, for sure. Definitely one of the better weapons. I don't want to put it in S tier because I know this is just so nitpicky, but it takes up so much space, man. Like, you can't use a gun and a crowbar especially like a big gun. You know, you can't use a AR in a crowbar. You can, but you're not going to hold enough ammo. You can use a pistol in a crowbar, but you're still taking up so much space. You'd rather have like just a smaller melee weapon if you're mainly going to use the gun and save bullets for later. That's my only gripe with it. So I don't think it deserves to be dropped down to like B or C, but it is an A tier weapon for sure. Next we got the axe, the fire axe. I like it. The fire axe used to be my favorite heavy weapon. Like when I first started playing this game, it used to be the fire axe. Then it became the sledgehammer for the longest time, and now it's the pickaxe. But I still like the fire axe. It's a decent tool against runners, but it does drain your stamina a lot. If you need it in an area where there's like not a lot of runners, where you don't really have to worry about stamina that much, the axe can be good. I love the heavy attack with the axe though. The heavy attack is amazing. That actually kind of makes me want to put it above the crowbar for that. Yeah, it's just so good. I love the axe, man. It's so good. Even all this time, it's still good. And the sledgehammer, oof. This is gonna be tough, man. Do I put the sledgehammer above? Do I like the sledgehammer more than the axe? I'm gonna say no. The axe is better than the sledgehammer, and I'll tell you why. The heavy attack on the sledgehammer can be so inconsistent sometimes. Like, it's so good and devastating when it works, but man, it can be so inconsistent if you miss even a little bit. But then again, that could just be the game's janky hitboxes, but I'm going to rank it for that. It is still a very good weapon, though. Still very, very, very good. I love all of these weapons so far. Oh, man. Some heat. We're getting some heat, some flames right now. The hatchet. Hatchet's going in S, man. I love this thing. There is one other weapon in this list. I know, I'm sure everyone knows, but I'm saving it for last. I don't care. There is one other weapon on this list that tops the hatchet. But man, I fucking love this thing. This thing is a good close second if you don't have the meta weapon, essentially. I love the best thing about the axe is that you can use a sidearm. You can use a pistol with the hatchet and have so much ammo. If you have like a medkit and some bandages, yeah, that takes up some space, but you can just use the medkit over time or give the medkit to someone else. The hatchet is just so versatile. I have said this numerous times to all my friends, and I will say it again. If the hatchet could one-shot runners every time, it would be the best weapon in the game, without a doubt. But it doesn't. It doesn't one-shot runners every single time. So, unfortunately, it's got to go. It's got to stay in S. Well, it's the top of the list for now, but there is one weapon that's going to trump that one. But I'm going to save that for last. Next, we got the fucking knife, dude. I don't care what I fucking hate this thing. The only thing the knife is good for is using it against zombie kids, but even still, it's like, I would rather use a meat cleaver, you know? This shit sucks. I fucking hate the knife. I do not understand why this weapon is in the game. I really do not understand. It is so fucking useless. And one of my friends, you know who you are, if you're watching this, he fucking swears by this thing and says, "Oh, it's fucking great." I don't understand that, man. He is insane. He is absolutely insane. Yes, I would rather use my fist than knife because at least using fist is fun. The knife is not fun. It is just a sluggish weapon. Like, if you're using your fist, you're not taking it seriously. You're just, like, punching the zombies to, like, mess around. So, yes, the fist have the fun factor, but the knife doesn't. It is the most useless weapon in the game, and plus I need a baseline, and I think out of all these weapons here, the knife is the baseline. It sucks. I hate that thing. Okay, next, we got the welder. Now, I know it's not really a weapon. Same with the fire extinguisher and the flashlight, but I mean, they can be used as melee weapons, so I'm gonna count them. The welder. I actually genuinely don't mind using the welder at some moments. If you go back on my channel and watch my no commentary uncut Broadway 2 run, there was a point in that run where I had to use the welder against a bunch of zombie kids. It was super reliable in that moment, I'm not gonna lie. Because I needed the welder for the objective at the end. So I was like, fuck it, I might as well just use it as my melee weapon. And it was working pretty well, honestly. So I guess it's pretty good against zombie kids, but most weapons are The knife is good against zombie kids, but I still hate it. I think I gotta put the welder in D tier though, because it's still not like amazing. It's not good against the others, but it is. I would much rather use it than the knife. I any day, any fucking day. And then we got the fire extinguisher. See, I was gonna put the fire extinguisher in C tier behind or in front of fist. It just takes up so much space. I mean, I guess I could just add that fun factor to it because it is kind of fun to use. The fire extinguisher is actually not that bad of a weapon to use. It really isn't. I think it has like a similar charge time than the shovel, maybe even like a lead pipe or something, but it's pretty good for what it is. It just takes up so much space, and it's, obviously only really used for objectives, but we're ranking it based on, using it as a weapon. But yeah, I like it. It's good. It's fun to use, so I guess it deserves a C tier. But it's obviously not amazing, so we'll put that. We'll just keep it there. Yes, there is somehow a weapon worse than the knife. It's the flashlight. I fucking hate the flashlight. I still, to this day, have not even gotten the achievement for. I think I only have like 32 recorded kills with the flashlight on the achievement. I fucking hate this thing, dude. It's terrible. Do I even need to say more? Like, go into No More Room in Hell and try to use the flashlight as a weapon. It is so fucking bad. But I would rather use the knife over the flashlight. But then again, the flashlight is not meant to be used as a weapon. It is meant to be used as a tool. You can use it while using like a one-handed weapon. But as a weapon, we are ranking it as a weapon, and as a weapon, it is fucking awful. Horrible. We got the meat cleaver. I actually genuinely like the meat cleaver, and I think I know the perfect spot for it. I'm going to put it in B tier above the E tool. It is solid. It is a solid, small one-handed weapon. It is leagues above the knife for some reason. I don't know why, but I think it has something to do with being able to hold the charge attack slightly shorter than the knife. I think the knife takes a little longer than the meat cleaver, or maybe it's the same and I'm just being biased. I don't fucking know, but either way. But another reason why I like the meat cleaver so much is it's really good against zombie kids and taking out like a decent crowd of them in front of you. Not the best against runners and regular zombies though, but use the charge attack. It's pretty damn good. You could just use weak attacks. It only takes like 3 or 4 hits, 3 or 4 weak swings, and you're good. So I don't mind it at all. The wrench is on that same tier as well, but do I prefer the wrench over the meat cleaver? I'm going to say no. I think I prefer the meat cleaver nowadays over the wrench. It's another situation between anxiety and rock pit for me where it's like they kind of just switch in between. Like some days I'll prefer the wrench, some days I'll prefer the meat cleaver. But I do like both of them. Maybe they're equal, honestly. They might just be equal, because I like both of them in the same ways. They both kind of do the same job. Both very good against the zombie kids. You can just use the weak swings, doesn't take a lot of stamina. It's just, the wrench is good. Alright. The boarding hammer. I was never a fan of this weapon, and I still am, but I can recognize that it is better than, your fist. So I am going to put it behind the fire extinguisher. I do really like using the boarding hammer to, board up barricades and stuff, but it's just not the best weapon. I will say it is slightly satisfying to use. Like the swing animation is pretty fun. All right, next, the bat. Oh my god, I hate the fucking bat. What's funny is I used to think the bat was like a legitimately good weapon until I used the other weapons and I was like, oh my god, this thing sucks. I gotta put it in D tier, man. The bat just sucks. Some people would even put it in F tier. I wouldn't. I would not put the knife on the same tier as the bat. As it stands right now, especially like the flashlight. If we're talking about all weapons across the board, the flashlight is just the worst. But I would obviously use the bat over the welder. And, I would rather use my fist than the bat. Yeah, the bat's just not fun to use. I hate it. I hate using it. It's so sluggish. Sucks. Hate that thing. Oh, we got a goat here. Another goat. But unfortunately, I don't think this goat squeaks into S tier. I'm gonna put the pipe in A tier. I think it just makes sense. I prefer the lead pipe over the crowbar. Not significantly more, but slightly more, purely because the crowbar without a flashlight has a horrible, horrible shove animation. A terrible shove animation. I hate that. I hate it so much. Meanwhile, the lead pipe has a beautiful shove animation, but the crowbar shove animation without a flashlight just always screws me over for some reason. I don't know why. We got the foo bar. Oh man, I used to hate this fucking thing, but it has slowly grown on me. It has slowly grown on me. The main reason why I hated this thing for so long is that stupid animation that plays whenever you use the charge attack. Whenever you use the charge attack with the crowbar, or the sledgehammer, or the fire axe, or even the shovel for that matter, your character is always charging it up immediately. As soon as you hit the charge button, he is charging the weapon, right? But with the foo bar, your character does like a little flip animation with the foo bar before he charges it up. And it's just, why? Like, I get it. It's such a nitpick. You have to understand, No More Room in Hell is such a slow-paced game. And I feel like that single animation for the foo bar just creates so much unnecessary, like, downtime in an already slow game. The game is already super fucking slow as it is. The foo bar is a slow weapon as it is. Why does my character have to waste his time flipping it and doing some stupid ass like inspect bullshit? Like, I hate it. I hate that. It makes me want to put it in like D tier, but no, it doesn't deserve D tier. It actually deserves like high C. High C. High C orange. I've grown to like it over time. It's just middle of the road over time. Next, we got the chainsaws. There really isn't like a huge drawback between both of them, but the one little drawback just feels like a big one to me. And that's the abrasive saw, which is the one on the right, holds 80 fuel, while the regular chainsaw holds 100 fuel. That extra fuel does make a difference. It really does. And plus, this is just me personally. The regular chainsaw, the wood chainsaw, just feels better, in my opinion. They could be completely the same statistically, but it just doesn't matter to me. The regular chainsaw just feels better to me. And I'm gonna put it in like, I don't always like using it because it's so fucking cheap, man. It's such a cheap weapon. I do want to dock it some points for that because I do like using the actual melee weapons. This just kind of feels like you're going to dedicate your entire inventory, especially if you're not using like weightless ammo. You're going to be dedicating your entire inventory to this chainsaw. You know what I mean? So when you actually use it the way you're supposed to, like as a saw, it's fucking incredible. But as like when you try to like hit people with it, it sucks. So you know what? Yeah, I think that deserves like bottom A. I was gonna put it top A, but no, it gets bottom A because of that. But it's still goated weapon without a doubt. And the abrasive saw, like I said, not much of a difference. They just feel different to me personally. Maybe someone can really tell me the difference between the regular chainsaw and the abrasive saw in the comments, because I would really like to know. And I don't feel like looking it up and reading about it, on the wiki and shit. We have come this far. We are on to the final weapon. Technically not the final melee weapon. I mean, here, the spear. We're not going to rank the SKS as a gun. We're going to rank it as a spear in this instance. So as a melee weapon, it's like top B. It's pretty good. I would rather use it over the meat cleaver and the wrench because it's so versatile. Okay, but now we're moving on to the absolute GOAT. The absolute GOAT. I don't even need to say it. The machete. I mean, come on, man. It's top S tier. One shots runners. That's like the most OP thing in the game. Like being able to just one shot runners consistently without draining all of your stamina. It's amazing. It's amazing. I can't rave about it anymore. Like if you've never played No More Room in Hell, you truly will never understand how fucking reliable that the machete is. But if you've played No More Room in Hell, you know. So you knew this was going to be S tier. So hopefully you were more invested in like the other weapons, because I think this is it for me. Yeah. I think I'm happy with all of these. Like I said, we're not ranking this as a gun. We're ranking it as a melee weapon. We're ranking the spear portion, and it's top B tier. Yeah, I would say the spear is good. But yeah, I'm happy with this. Part of me kind of wants to move the lead pipe to S tier because the lead pipe is just so reliable. But like I said, that little thing that really pisses me off is just it takes up so much space. It takes up so much space. I mean, it's realistic, but man, realistic to my detriment. Because I want more room for guns and ammo. Because I want to be able to use the lead pipe in a pistol, but I'm not gonna have a lot of ammo. So then I usually end up dropping the lead pipe for the hatchet if I don't find a machete, you know? I think this is good. Solid melee weapon tier list. And then finally, we're going to be moving on. Well, not finally. We're going to be moving on to the guns, and then I'm going to do like a little segment with the grenades. How long was this one? 32 minutes. Not bad. Okay, we are on to the final big portion of the video, and that's all the guns. 24 from what I counted, including the flare gun and the crossbow. Bow, rather. It's just a bow, not a crossbow. I don't fucking know. I'm tired. I'm a little tired from not only talking so much, doing this, and taking those bong rips. It's making me a little sleepy, but we're gonna power through it. Let's begin. The Beretta. So, okay, let me get this out of the way first. So when I play solo mode, I usually play realism, which allows you to be able to one-shot with the 9mm and the 22 weapons. Now, I am not going to be ranking these guns based off of that. I'm going to be ranking them how they were normally put into the game, and that's 9mm, 2 shots to the head, 1 shot if you use the Deadeye. That's how I'm going to rank it. I'm not going to rank it based on fucking Nightmare either, or realism. I'm going to rank it based on normal, just classic mode. Casual classic, 2 shots to the head. All right, keep that in mind. But I'm just going to say this right now. The Glock, the Beretta, the Luger 22 pistol, those would all be S tier if we were ranking it based on realism. Same with the rifle and the SMG, because those guns are just so pivotal in realism mode, because it gives you so much ammo, that sort of thing, and being able to one-shot with those weapons. But we're not ranking it based on those. We're going to rank them normally. All right. With that being said, the Beretta, normal, 2 shots to the head, still pretty good. I would put it in B tier, though. It's not a gun that I would immediately grab. I will say, though, it is probably one of the most obtainable guns because the National Guard zombies can drop it. So that's a plus. One thing I wish, though, I wish the National Guard zombies would drop the gun with it loaded. Normally, you don't get any ammo from the gun. Like, the gun is always empty when it falls from a National Guard zombie, but if you need it in a pinch, it's gonna help you out. So, solid weapon. For sure. Next, we got the SKSs. There's 2 variants, the regular and the bayonet. See, here's the thing. We already ranked the bayonet portion. So do we really need to do it again? I guess, yeah, we'll just, since it's a gun, I mean, it's attached to a gun after all, so I guess we'll just do it. I guess we'll just put the regular SKS in C tier, and I'm going to put the bayonet in B tier. Because, like, the bayonet is just a league ahead, you know? Like, it makes it so viable. So good. The bayonet just makes the gun so much better. It's hard to not put it in a tier of its own. The flare gun, but it's not your traditional gun. It's fine. I'd say my biggest complaint with the flare gun is that if you shoot a zombie too close to you with a flare gun, it fucking hurts a lot. It takes a lot of damage. So never use the flare gun against runners unless if they're a good distance away from you. If they're right behind you, never use the flare gun. It's just going to damage you. The flare gun is mainly for like massive crowds anyway, in my personal opinion. So flare gun is it's solid. But it's a very circumstantial weapon. So I'm going to put it bottom B tier for that. And now the bow. Oh, the bow is so fun, man. It's so fun, but I'm just not the best with it. It's also just extremely fucking reliable too, because the ammo is so reusable. Oh, it's so, you know what? I was gonna probably put the bow in C, but I'm gonna put it above the flare gun actually, because I think it just having the reusable ammo factor to it is just so important. But you gotta know when to use it. Like, it's not very good against runners. It's not very good against zombie kids. I'd say it's the opposite of the flare gun. It's pretty good against close range, not very good from distances, depending on your aim, you know? That's just me. I suck with this thing from long distances. The double barrel. Some of my friends swear by this thing, but I'm not gonna lie. I don't like it. It's just I'm too much of a meathead to appreciate it, I guess. Because I guess it has like a huge damage output. You can get like, you have a higher chance of getting like collateral kills with the double barrel compared to any other shotgun, which is cool, I guess. But like, it's not really worth it at the cost of only having 2 bullets and having one of the slowest reload animations of all time. I'm ranking it based on how it's intended, and that's slow as hell. It's a slow fucking reload. Just for 2 weapons, it shouldn't have such a slow reload, in my opinion, but that's just me. But then again, all the shotguns have a slow reload, so the 2 bullets is just not appealing to me. I need more. Need more shells. All right. We got the Colt pistol. This used to be my favorite pistol in the game because I didn't used to play on realism, and being able to one-shot zombies with any pistol was just amazing to me, so the Colt was always my go-to, but in this regard, we're ranking it based on how it's normally is, so... But I will say, if I was ranking it on realism, I would probably put it in, like, B. But I'm gonna put it in A. It's solid, very good. Very good pistol. But if you're like a non-realism player, then this is probably the main pistol you would grab, huh? Because it always one-shots. But the 8-round mag, man, it's just not for me. All right, next we got the CZ. Now, I like the CZ a lot, but I kind of prefer the AK, or not the AK, the ARs over here, just a little bit more. But I'm gonna still put it in A tier. I mean, it's still freaking great. I'm gonna put the scoped M16 in A tier as well, and I'm gonna put the regular one in S tier. And I know this, like, I know putting it a tier above the other one just because of the scope is kind of petty, but like I have to. The scoped one just sucks. I hate that scope. That's why I use the low gun view model add-on, because I just hate using the scope. I would much rather just use the iron sight. But other than that, they are virtually the same weapon. All right, the MP5. Again, love it on realism. Don't love it the most on regular classic mode. I do like the select fire aspect of it. That's pretty cool. But I'm gonna go like top B tier. Ooh, the Mac on the other hand, I would definitely reach for this. I think I prefer the pistol, the Colt pistol, because these 2 guns take the same caliber. I prefer the pistol over this, but I still really, really like this. My only drawback with the Mac, the fucking trigger is so sensitive. Like, you'll shoot once and your character will just shoot 2 bullets for some reason. It is a very sensitive gun to shoot. So you gotta be a little delicate with it if you want to shoot, bullets individually, but you're usually gonna waste a couple of bullets because the gun just shoots 2 bullets randomly. A little unstable. All right, next we got the 308 sniper. I forget the name of it. There's 2 types of 308 snipers, and this is one of them. This is the one with the bigger mag, though, and stuff like that, so I'm obviously going to prefer this one over the other, but we'll get to that one later. We'll go mid A tier. I think I like using the sniper over the ACP weapons. Sniper's just really fucking fun to use, man. But it is circumstantial. Some maps are just not built for the sniper. A map like Cabin, where it's just so tiny, you need a map where there's some spots where you can climb up and stuff like that and get a good vantage point and cover your team. I love it. It's good. Next we got the 308 FAL. I don't know why I'm saying the bullet calibers now. I would actually consider putting this in S tier, but I'm not putting it in front of the M16. But the FAL is an S tier weapon in my opinion. It's just so fucking good. Like, yeah, you can shoot through crowds with you can get collateral kills with the sniper and any other 308 gun, but the FAL is just so consistent with the semi-auto aspect and having 20 round mag. Pretty fucking good. Takes up a lot of space though, so if you're going to use the FAL, you're most likely not using a melee weapon with it. You're just soloing this weapon. This is the only thing in your inventory. Maybe some meds and stuff, but other than that, and the ammo. I love the FAL. Very, very good weapon. Next, we got the Glock. Oh, man. I think even in realism, this is probably the best weapon of all fucking time, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Even in regular classic mode, I still love the Glock. It's getting S tier, man. Oh, I love the Glock. It's so good. 18 round mag, so it trumps the pussy ass 16 round mag in the Beretta. But I mean, hey, those extra bullets, those extra 2 bullets, man, they make that difference. I promise. I mean, those 2 extra bullets is literally just 1 more kill, but on realism. But yeah, I love the Glock, man. It's so good. I'm gonna put it bottom S tier for regular mode because it's still really fun and consistent to use. You could still get 1-shots with it if you use the Deadeye. That's another thing that I haven't really talked about. You can use the Luger pistol and the Glock and the Beretta with the Deadeye. Stand still long enough, and ADS, you can 1-shot kill zombies. So it's pretty good in that regard. But again, that's like circumstantial. So that doesn't make it above. That doesn't put it above these two, in my opinion. All right, the shotguns. So we got, this one's just called like the Super XL or something. The Mossberg and the Remington. I'm gonna put. So out of all of them, if you would have asked me when I first started playing this, I would have picked the Remington every single time because the Remington has 9 shells in reserve, while the Mossberg and the Super have 6. Nowadays, I fucking love the Super shotgun. I forget what it's called. It's the Winchester Super or something. I don't know. I don't think I would put any of the shotguns in S tier though, for my personal opinion, because I'm just not a big shotgun guy. But they're still really fucking good. Like, really, really good. Like I said, I'm not trying to be objective here. I'm trying to just rank them on my personal opinion, you know. And then the Mossberg, I'll put the Mossberg in C tier because it just doesn't feel as good as the other one. The Winchester Super has a it's a semi-auto, while the Mossberg is a pump. I do like semi-autos more, so. And then the Remington, I'll put it in B tier. But hold on. Yeah, I would put this over the SKS, and then but I would put the SKS with the bayonet above the Remington because I would rather use that. All right, the revolver. Used to hate it, grown to like it, like with a lot of weapons, but still just not a weapon that I always grab. I have been using it a lot recently, though. Other than that, it's not like my main choice of weapon. Again, obviously, like it's it's a gun after all. I'll use it. I'm just going based off of what I think is what I like personally. Oh man, I don't know where to put it though, because I wouldn't put it in like C tier. I think it deserves like top B tier at the very least. It can make an argument for A tier. Obviously, some would even say S tier. Actually, no. I keep forgetting that it's like so good against like crowds. It's a little handheld sniper. You know what? I'm convinced. Yeah, I'm putting it above the sniper in A tier. It's not better than these though. I do like these more, but revolver above the sniper. I think I've made a case for the revolver now. It's like a little mini sniper. You could shoot through large crowds. It's a little bit more consistent because you can like get right up on the crowd of zombies, shoot them point blank as opposed to the sniper. All right, next we got 2 doubles here. We got the Luger rifle and the Sako snipers, the Seiko or whatever. Let's focus on these first though. So the difference between these is this is an 11 round mag gun and this is like a 24 round mag gun. So I think virtually they're the same fucking weapon. I acknowledge that, but dude, come on. 11, I would never use this. Like, I would never use this unless it was like the only weapon I had, So I'm putting it like bottom C tier. But it's still good. I would still prefer it over the double barrel. But this thing, I would much prefer it over that one. Just for, I mean, come on, dude. Extra fucking 20 bullets? Yeah, I'll take that. Or 10 or whatever. Who cares? I don't know where to put it, though. I'll put it above the Beretta. It's not better than the shotgun, though, but it's good. Smack dab in the middle of B tier. All right, we got the snipers. I don't really like these snipers, I'm going to be honest. So the difference between them is one is the regular scope and the other is the iron sight. And I'll be honest, I like the scoped one more than the iron sight. I do not like the iron sight one, actually. So I'm going to put that one in like bottom D tier. And I'll put the regular scoped one in like bottom C tier. I think that makes sense. And like the double barrel in between them, yeah. Because the scope does make a huge difference. All right, the Luger pistol, 22 pistol. I don't know what it is. This might just be a placebo, honestly, but this feels like, besides the Glock, this feels like one of the most reliable pistols in the game, in my opinion, in terms of like hit registration. Like, I don't know what it is. You could be so inaccurate with this fucking thing, and your bullets will just connect. The hit registration with this gun is so consistent, but it's not more reliable than the Glock overall, but it's still very good. But not better than these though. I would put it bottom B tier for me. I would rather use it over the SMG and the SKS. I like it. Plus, one thing you got to keep in mind is the bullets for the 22 so plentiful. You'll find one box on the ground will have 20 bullets. That's a lot of kills right there. That's 10 kills altogether if you use every single bullet efficiently. And on realism, that's all 20 kills. Like, come on, man. That's good. But I mean, let's be honest, even on realism, you're still going to miss some shots, especially if you play like me and fucking Proto Shard where you're just rushing through the map. The last firearm in the tier list. The Winchester lever action. I am so wishy-washy about this gun. On some instances, it's amazing, but on other, it's just like so bad. I think the main thing that pisses me off about this gun is that it is so unreliable firing from the hip. Now, obviously, that's not recommended. You want to, ADS when you use a gun like this, because, you want to shoot through massive crowds. But bro, hip firing with this gun is so unreliable. I hate it. Hate it so much. But on the other hand, it's very good, like the revolver and the sniper, at taking out crowds. But it's just not, like, a weapon I would always grab. I'm gonna put it top B tier. I would much rather grab the Luger pistol, the Mac, the Colt. I'd rather grab those over the lever action. But I mean, hey, at least not a single firearm, air quote. I say that looking at the bow and the fucking flare gun. Not a single gun or gun-like weapon in F tier. So hey, that's something. But there it is. My gun tier list. My No More Room in Hell gun tier list, including the bow and flare gun. I'm not too mad at this. I don't think there's anything I would change. Yeah, that's good. All right, how long did this take? 27 minutes. Not bad at all. Okay, so this is just kind of like an extra thing that I'm doing. This is the final part of the tier list. I'm going to end it off with this. We are going to be ranking each grenade in their own tier, and I'm going to explain why they deserve to be put in those tiers, respectively. Now, just because one of the grenades gets put in don't grab doesn't mean I don't actually grab it, I do always grab the grenades when I can if I have the space. That's just really what it boils down to. I will usually drop a grenade if I want to make space for ammo or a melee weapon or something, or a bigger gun, So with that being said, just because one of the grenades goes in don't grab, it just doesn't mean that I don't use it. It's just I don't like using it that much. I don't seek it out like the other ones. Also, yeah, I'm not doing A, B, C, or whatever. It's just always grab, sometimes grab, don't grab. That's just gonna try to make it more concise, but I'm gonna yap about all of them, so I'm probably gonna complicate it a little bit more. All right, so the three main grenades in the game are the regular frag grenade, the Molotov, and a stick of TNT. Where do all of these go? Let's start with sometimes grab. Which grenade would go in sometimes grab? I think the perfect versatile grenade that should go in sometimes grab is the Molotov. The Molotov is circumstantial. You only really need it against large crowds. You don't always need it. There's probably some maps that have Molotovs and don't really have that many zombies that require it. So it just goes in sometimes grab. You don't always grab the Molotov because there are better things to have. If you're using an AR, just save all your space for, ammo. If you just have a melee weapon and a sidearm, pick up a Molotov. It's good to hold on to one. All right. And now we're going to go over which one goes in don't grab. The one I usually don't always grab, but I still do. But I usually drop it instantly for other stuff like ammo or a melee weapon or an objective item like a welder, and that's the frag grenade. The frag grenade just isn't reliable, man. It doesn't clear that many fucking zombies. Like, the only instance where the frag grenade actually does real damage is when there is a massive crowd of zombies that are overlapping on top of each other, bunched together, and you throw it right at their feet. That is the only way the frag grenade actually can be viable. But other than that, the regular frag is just such a limp dick, wet noodle, poor excuse of a lethal. In this game, at least. I'm sure in obviously most games frag grenades are good, but in this game, it fucking sucks for some reason. The TNT, on the other hand, you're always gonna grab that. This thing is fucking massive, bro. So much so, it's so easy to like underestimate the blast radius of the fucking TNT. You know, sometimes sometimes I run away from the TNT when I throw it and it's still too close and I get blown up. It's crazy. And it clears so many zombies, man. It does what a grenade should do. Not like this piece of shit down here. I think that makes sense in my head. I'm always grabbing the TNT. I'm sometimes grabbing the Molotov, and I don't usually grab the frag grenade, but they can all be very useful. I mean, let's be honest, explosives tend to be pretty efficient, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, that's it. We've done everything. We've ranked every objective map, every survival map, every melee weapon, every gun, and every explosive. I'm either probably going to take a nap after this or immediately work on this video, because I'm probably going to cut some things out, because this was... But anyway, I just want to say thank you for the recent support on these couple videos, man. It's been crazy. You guys have really been motivating me to make these videos, especially like the comments, you know, I'm always reading through the comments. Even if they're negative, I'm still hearting the comments just letting people know that I look through the comments and see every single one of them. Yeah, thank you guys so much, man. I really appreciate it. But yeah, thanks for watching.